Yo, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I made an old V-Matrix slash Nodestone guide. I maybe made it about like almost a year ago. I don't remember what the fuck I said, but it was I was probably just a bunch of nonsense and rambling. But it was probably like up to date. But I wanted to make another one since I'm already going through my Hoyoung's nodes. So basically, the whole gist of nodes is that you're gonna have a perfect trio for your class. Now, every class is different. Some classes, for example, like Hoyoung, they use literally every single fucking node, which is really fucking annoying. So, for example, you have your skills, your V-Matrix skill, your 5th job skills. You get about like 4 of them, I believe. So this is a Hoyoung skill, this is one, and then I took out these ones because these ones are mainly for bossing. So yeah, I think there's like about 4. And then you have your boost nodes. Your boost nodes increase, anything from 1st job to 4th job. It won't increase, well, it will increase 5th job, but it's not a boost node. To increase your 5th job skills, you need exactly another copy of the 5th job skill, if that makes sense. So if I wanted to use this Hoyoung 5th job skill, and I wanted to raise it to max level, which is level 25, I would have to basically craft like a whole ton of these to create. It costs a lot of nodes. So if you're in Reboot, I haven't played Reboot in a long time, but Reboot, you pretty much just hunt Nodestones. In regular server, you would go into the auction house and you would look for Nodestones. So let's go into the auction house real quick and let's type in Nodestone. And the Nodestone market is pretty yeah, so I would recommend stocking up on Nodestones in general before an event kind of takes place, because for example there's going to be hyper burning in about so ignition hits in about like 4 or 5 days from the time of me filming this video. So that means that a lot of people are going to be burning classes to level 250, which means people are going to need Nodestones, which means the demand goes up in the market, so therefore Nodestones go up to 1.5 million mesos each, when in reality I've seen it like the lowest I've seen Nodestones in Bara is like, I don't know, like 700k each. So put that into perspective, it pretty much is like doubled. So yeah, if you are someone who likes to hoard and merch, feel free to buy a bunch of Nodestones when they're low, and then you can resell them like months later when they, double in price, because the demand goes up, people want it, so people are willing to pay. Well, not everyone's willing to pay. They're willing to pay more for Nodestones, which is, a necessity. Either that, or you can just hunt Nodestones on your main if you train a lot. But yeah, Nodestones are not cheap right now, so I'm not going to buy them. If I get really desperate, I can buy them. I mean, I guess I can buy like, okay, for the sake of the video, let's buy like, this is really expensive. I wouldn't recommend this. I would not buy, yeah, it's just not worth it. So, yeah. But yeah, let's just go back and, okay, so basically when you open your nodes, you obviously, it's a lot of nodes and there's like an animation for it and shit, so you want to click on, by the way, these ones can be dropped. These ones cannot be dropped, those are count bound. So you put your Nodestone right here, just put it literally anywhere on your keyboard. So I am going to just hold on to the key that I assigned it to. And this is pretty much how you open nodes. I wish there was a way you could just open all of them at once, but like, I guess Nexon's just kind of like, you have to suffer, it's just like typical. But yeah, so while I'm opening these, let's talk about nodes. So yeah, every single class has like, special nodes. So depending on what class you are, say you're a Shadower, go on Google, type in Shadower Perfect Trio. There's so many classes in the game, otherwise I would tell you each and every individual perfect trio. So typically, there's nodes for bossing and there's nodes for training. Most classes typically want to have like a mix of the two. Like for example, for Shadower, you can use Meso Explosions to one-shot mobs. Those auto-target mobs and those explode, and then they give you like much higher rates, which is why Shadower is one of the best trainers in the game. And then, for example, Night Lord, they have, the main skill is like what, like throwing, was it like triple star, quadruple star, some shit like that, quintuple star. that is their main bossing skill, so you do want to max that, but you also want to max their mobbing skill, which is Showdown. Showdown is the one that gives, was like the fat mobbing skill for, the fat mobbing skill, which is like, it's like a huge damage ratio for Night Lords, and then you want to max Assassin's Mark, which is the one that explodes stars, and the stars go flying around the map, which makes also Night Lord a very good mobbing class. Very good. So thieves are good mobbing classes usually, except Dual Blade. Dual Blade's like which is my main. That also, yeah, Dual Blade. Dual Blade is a class that has, you know, training versus bossing, so you want to put like a mix of those two. So the main bossing skill for Dual Blade is called Phantom Blow. It is a single target. Well, it's not a single target. It's like it hits like 3 or 4 enemies at once. And it does a lot of damage to bosses. It gives like percent IED, and then you want to also max Blade Fury. Blade Fury is the low hitbox mobbing skill for Dual Blade. I just rambled a whole one, but past the time. Alright, so I just opened a fuck ton of nodes. So, okay, so this, first of all, let me just explain this entire thing, because a lot of people are like confused by like what the fuck this is, but like I've done so many characters that like I know enough to explain it. So actually this is actually a good video because the nodes system is updated. So there's no longer, if you guys notice, there's no longer a node master. So for example, Lion, this guy in Choo Choo Island, he used to be the Nodestone guy. Now he just says nothing. He's like, I'm Lion, chief of Choo Choo Village, welcome. He used to be the Nodestone guy, he's no longer. So the Nodestone masters are now us, you know, like we're not reliant on the NPCs. So basically you just can access it literally anywhere. You don't have to be in town to access your node, your V matrix, which is very fucking convenient, which I love. So you have the V matrix, right? You have all your skills. If you want to craft nodes, you obviously click on the green button, node crafting. If you want to max a certain skill, like for example, say I wanted to max, where's the tiger scroll? I wanted to, you know, max this one. You want to create a bunch of these and until you max it out. So tigers, yeah, so it is a lot of nodes, shards required. So in order to get node shards, you basically would have to disassemble. So you click, okay, so you go back to the home page and you click on disassemble nodes, and you are going to just, like, say for example, theoretically I wanted to extract all of these nodes, I would get a 4,000 node shards. So yeah, if you spend about, so I opened about 175 nodes. If I disassembled all of those nodes, that would give me like almost 5k node shards. And then what you can do with those is you can actually you can create your own nodes that are tradable. So in the auction house, when you see a bunch of nodes that people are selling, people usually will you know, do the same thing. They'll extract it and then they'll get node shards and they will make nodes out of it, and then those are completely tradable. As you can see, I can drop them on the floor versus the other ones that I cannot drop, which are only account-wide or account transferable. So yeah, that's how people make profit who have already maxed their nodes. Usually in Bara, it's Kanas who have been meso farming. They literally meso farm all day and they basically just create nodes for that. I'm pretty sure people in general just do that if they train. I'm not trying to single anyone out, but yeah, so let's just look at all the nodes that I got. So out of all of the nodes that I got, the ones that extract the most, okay, so if I disassemble this, I get 10 node shards, right? Now these are special ones, so if I disassemble this, I get 50. So those ones are more valuable. So these are special, what do you call these? These are like, let's go to node crafting. They are called, I don't know if there's like a name for it, but they're kind of special. Yeah, they're just called special nodes. So a lot of these purple ones right here are shit. Like, let's be honest here. Let's have no filter. Like, they're just bad. So the only good ones for bossing are Fatal Strike 1, which increases your damage by 100% for 2 seconds, and it activates every 30 seconds if you attack an enemy. Grit reduces remaining cooldown skills, all skills by 25%, which every 100%, every 100th hit you reduce the remaining cooldown of all skills by 25%, which is like 1/4 of your time, which is, I don't know if this is like good for everyone, but this one is more lackluster than it pales in comparison to Fatal Strike 1. This is good for bossing. If you do Culvert for your guild, if your guild requires you to do GPQ, which is the solo bossing thing where you hit the blue guy, and for your guild, it gives you guild score or whatever, Fatal Strike is really good. Rune EXP 1. This one, actually use this one. Increases EXP by 50% for 20 seconds every time a rune is activated. So this is good if you just train off of runes, which is what I do sometimes. Not as good as Character Building 1, which is just randomly here. By the way, there's also a search bar, so if you can't find something, just type in Character Building, and bam, there it is. So Character Building 1, this increases your EXP by 50% for 20 seconds every 100th hit. And that sounds confusing, but what it really means is that you're not hitting something 100 times, because that would be way too easy. Nexon is like, no, you have to get hit 100 times. You don't hit something 100 times. You gotta get smacked by your mobs 100 times. 100 times while you're grinding. So this actually activates a lot during Frenzied Spawn, or if you're in Reboot, Wild Totem, it won't activate as much in Wild Totems in Reboot or in Rec Server, but Frenzy Totems in MapleStory, in Frenzy Totems in Bara, or like any Rec Server like Elysium, would actually, you know, give you, this would proc more often than Wild Totem, because Wild Totem is like a pretty much, let's be honest, like Wild Totem is like a Walmart version of Frenzy Totem in regular server. Fun fact, Frenzy Totems are not meant to exist. Well, I guess they are, but they don't exist in KMS, for example. So that's why people are like crazy about this item in reg server. A little bit of a tangent there. So Character Building 1. So yeah, this one is a good node, but let's go back to, let's cancel the search bar. And okay, so these decent skills, let's cover these real quick. So Rope Lift, great for mobbing, great for if your class is like immobile and you need to, like, you know, teleport across the map and you're training in a big map that has, you know, vertical, you know, kind of layout. Decent Mystic Door is absolutely useless unless you are like level 280, 285 and you have no slots, because Decent Mystic Door will give you like +5 all stats. So that's just people who are like high level, they just put it on their V Matrix just for the hell of it. Decent Sharp Eyes is very good if you are not a what is it, like an archer. Like, I'm pretty sure Mercedes gets it, but for example, if you're a crossbowman, if you are a bowmaster, you do not need this, because you already get, your class already has Sharp Eyes. It's not Decent Sharp Eyes, it's the OG Sharp Eyes, which gives you crit damage and critical rate. So this is really good. You should always include this if you have the space for it. If not, go level up some more, because you're going to eventually have to include it. Decent Hyper Body just increases your HP. This is only good for Demon Avenger, because Demon Avenger uses HP, of course. Decent Combat Orders, this is good for classes who need passive skills. So for example, Ho-Young, if I use Decent Combat Orders, it gives me a boost for this skill. Yeah, so this increases your, yep. So, yep, if you have a lot of passives in your 4th job, this will increase all of that. It increases my passives by a little bit. So let's go back to VMatrix. Where is it? Node crafting. Alright, so Decent Combat Orders is good for people, classes with passives, so remember that. And then Decent Advanced Blessing is obviously good for everyone. It increases your attack and magic attack, so it's good for mages and, you know, everyone else. This only increases your magic attack and attack by 20, like a flat 20, not 20%. If it was 20%, that'd be OP as fuck, but it's only 20, so it's just like having like +20 flat attack added to your weapon or whatever. I'm not sure if that's how it's calculated, but let's just say it goes like, let's just go by that. Decent Speed Infusion is good if you, you know, you don't hit the attack speed cap. I think mages, for example, mages, like Explorer mages, they will use +1 attack speed for their inner ability, and I believe that stacks with Decent Speed Infusion. But yeah, some classes you need to research if they can hit the attack speed cap, which is also known as AS0. You might hear that term around, thrown around. But yeah. So Decent Speed Infusion, yes, that is very good for training, good for bossing, good for literally anything. So just include this if you want to attack a little bit faster. But make sure your class needs, like, so usually you would have to have, you know, the Monster Part Green Pot, and then you would have Decent Speed Infusion. Like, you just have to stack it, but you need to make sure that it's not overkill, because at some point, decent speed infusion can be overkill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to, it's just, you're at a point where your attack speed has already hit the cap, so you don't need decent speed infusion. Okay, and then Blink it does exactly what you think it does. So Blink gives you a teleport. It literally teleports you to a random location on the map. So, and then you can alternatively use Blink to float mid-air. So if you float mid-air, then it's going to it's going to be helpful for bosses if you need to dodge an attack. Like, say, like, there's an attack that's kind of like going on the bottom and you need to like float a little bit and stay up in the air. You can hold this mid-air, and then that will give you a bit of survivability during a boss fight. Urda Nova is just it's the Walmart version of the Lucid Bind. Gather Urda from yourself, blah blah blah. It basically, just don't read this. It binds, and it's like about a 2-minute cooldown, and you should max this now. I think it's good now. If your class does not have a bind, you need this. If your class has a bind, you can use another bind. So it is a good skill for bossing. Otherwise, if you're training, you don't need this, obviously. Will of Urda is going to absolve certain abnormal status effects. It's kind of just like a Maple, what do you call it? What is that? It's like a cleanse for, like, you know, skills during boss fights. If you get, what is that skill called? Hero's Will. Hero's Will. So you're going to want this for bossing. It's not that great. I would not include this. This is like lower on the tier of like if it's good or not. Like, I just don't think it's incredibly like useful early on unless you're like doing end game bosses. I don't know if even like whales use this, like, who are like high level and like do bosses like Black Mage and shit. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not that, like, I haven't progressed that far to like even like analyze this. If you're like a really high level person, like 270, 280, and you like boss a lot, comment below if you use this or not. I don't know. Decent Holy Symbol is obviously the best one. For training, Sacrix uses this. It increases your drop rate. It temporarily increases your EXP in items when hunting monsters. So that's increased for drop rate. So the max level for drop rate would be like plus 24%, I believe, and then it gives you a fuck ton of EXP boost, and it's basically free. So obviously bishops don't need this. Bishops have regular Holy Symbol, and that gives them like 50% EXP, and then we just get like literally a Walmart version of it. It's like half of it. So that's what the name implies. Decent means it's only like half of the effect, pretty much, or like, you know, less of the effect. So for example, like Speed Infusion, increase your attack speed level by like 2, I believe, instead of 1 for Decent, and then Decent Sharp Eyes increases your critical damage way more than Decent Sharp Eyes. Or sorry, regular Sharp Eyes increases your, increases way more than Decent Sharp Eyes. And Hyper Body is like whatever, and then what else is like, yeah, so the regular Advanced Blessing for bishops, like if you're in a party with a bishop, for example, your bishop will give you Advanced Blessing, and that pretty much overrides this, which is way better than Decent. So yeah, all of these skills are pretty much like all of Decent skills are pretty much just Walmart versions. I've said Walmart so many times in this video, but you get the idea. So yeah, that pretty much covers all of, well, actually no. Okay, Urda Shower. So Urda Shower is a skill that will be buffed very soon. It will be buffed to, basically you can cast Urda Shower mid-air. It's a mobbing skill for people who don't have good mobbing capabilities. Like if your class is like, I don't know, like a dual blade or something, and you need like another full map attack or like a big range mobbing attack, Urda Shower will be buffed with an ignition, I believe. So that's probably by the time you're watching this video. Like, I'm recording this in the past, probably, by the time you're watching this. So yeah, Urda Shower is really good now. It's gonna be good soon at the time of recording this video, but yeah, you get the idea. And then some classes, they get special skills. So Lotus Flower, so it literally says, can be equipped by Lara Hoyoung. That's it. Like, no other classes. If there's another anima class that they release, this will also be shared, probably. Grandest Goddess's Blessing. Yeah, so it tells you Cadena, Angelic Buster, Ilium, Arc, Hoyoung, Adele, Kain, Lara. These are all skills that can be, or this is a skill that can be used by all of these classes. So Explorer classes like Thief, Shadower, or sorry, Explorer classes like Thief, Mage, Warrior, whatever, like the OG Explorers they have Maple Goddesses instead of Grandest Goddess's Blessing. You get the idea. Venom Burst is for thieves, so thieves and Xenons. So since Hoyoung is technically a thief, it's an anima mage thief class, so it's yeah, we can use this. Venom Burst, by the way, is actually not good. Like it's good for Princess No, but if it's Venom Burst is not good for thieves. You don't want to include it on your board unless you have like literally like so much space, and you just want a little bit of extra damage. It barely increases your damage. So I've heard online, like I've done my research, it's just not as good as it sounds if you read the skill. So yeah, keep that in mind if you are a thief watching this video. Last Resort, basically, this is for thieves only. It says Thief Job and Xenon. So this gives you a increased damage during boss fights. You can activate it twice to increase the damage even further. And basically what it does, it's literally your last resort. The Korean name for this skill is called Ready to Die. So it's kind of just like you're ready to die, but you're also ready to kill the boss. So it basically increases your damage, but it increases your hit damage. So you'll be way more vulnerable during a boss fight. With Last Resort, like you'll probably get one shot if you aren't careful. Like you'll take way more damage, but it increases your damage, so it's like a double-edged sword. And then these are just the skills that come with the class. So yeah, every single class has like 4 skills that they use for 5th job, and these are your bread and butter skills. They're usually for bossing or for mobbing. For example, Tiger of Song Yu is a giant summon which can kill monsters, and it will, help you with mobbing. And if you just cast it like right here, for example, if this was like a training map, then I could just literally just kill the mobs here, and then it would take care of the monsters over here. I don't want to go into specifics with Hoyoung. This is not I'm trying to make this like a general guide. I have rambled so much, but yeah, there's node crafting and like V-Matrix and all that shit. Like it's just so much information. But yeah, let's just go over what the fuck I just said, because holy crap, I've been talking for 20 minutes. It says. So yeah, decent skills. You want basically the best ones I would say are decent Sharp Eyes, decent Advanced Blessing if you can't one-shot, decent combat orders if your class has a lot of passive skills, 4th job that increase your damage. It's honestly good for like every class, because I'm pretty sure like most classes have like a nice passive 4th job page, but honestly some classes is better. They utilize decent combat orders way better than other classes. Like some classes don't need it. So yeah, so decent Sharp Eyes, and then obviously decent Holy Symbol for training, and then decent Speed and Fusion if you cannot attack fast enough and you need to one-shot, or you need to, boss or whatever. And then Rope Lift is obviously, like, if you can't, like, for example, Angelic Buster has their own Rope Lift, so they don't even need this. I'm pretty sure they include it into their V-Matrix, but just for the stat bonus. Rope Lift gives you a bunch of like all stat. It gives you like plus 30 all stat, so it is good, max level. Yeah. So okay, we covered the purple ones. The purple ones are like kind of like only like maybe like 5% of them are good. Like I said, the Fatal Strike is good for bossing, and the other one is like all of these are so, like read all of these. They're so useless. Like grants invincibility for 10 seconds every time a rune is activated. Like, who needs to have a 10-second iframe while training? Like, I just don't think anyone needs that. Like, you're not bossing, you're training, bro. Like, what? So, character building 1 is the other one that you need. I might actually craft this one, but I don't have enough node shards. Yeah, you need to, in order to craft it, you need, like, node shards. So you need, oh my god, you need 250 for this. This is so, it's a lot. But, yeah, if you have a lot of money, or you are willing to spend a lot of money, go into the auction house in a reg server and just buy a bunch of nodes. They're way more expensive now, so I don't recommend doing that if they're like 1.5 mil each. In Bara, they've dropped down to 600, 700k, like I've said before. So just look out for the Nodestone market. Be aware that if there's an event coming, like for example the Ignition event, it's going to be hyper burning from level 200 to level 250, which hyper burning means that it's going to give you 3 levels instead of 1. So if you level from 200, you're going to level to 203. So that is pretty huge. So a lot of people are going to make bossing mules or alternatives, or side characters, mules, whatever you want to call it. People are going to make level 250 characters for farming, just for the sake of it, for Legion. Like for example, if you are Hayato, level 200, you get plus 5 crit, or plus 4, or I don't know if it's 4 or 5, but you get crit damage like 4 or 5, and then you level 250 you get like another +1 crit damage. So people who are like unhinged, they level up their Hayato, Shade, and Jet to 250 to get extra crit damage, which is a rare stat. So that's why, I mean, I can't blame them if they're willing to go to like end game. Then yeah, it gives you +1 crit damage. But holy shit, I'm just getting into tangents. Okay, so yeah, just be on the lookout for events. For example, actually, if another class, if a new class in MapleStory gets released, typically nodes will increase, but I don't know. I can't say for sure. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure like it will, but you just have to look out for events. So, for example, Hyper Burning 250 or a new class comes out, that will increase the Nodestone market, and that will make it just way more expensive, and it's just not worth it. But I just did buy some Nodestones for you guys, just for the sake of the video. And if you don't have money for Nodestones, you can just hunt them. Or if you're in Reboot, I'm pretty sure you just have to hunt them. So just go out there and get your drop rate up. In order to get your drop rate up, you can use Familiars, or you can use Decent Holy Symbol, which increases your drop rate. Right now, it's only increasing my drop rate by like 17%, so it's like whatever. But yeah, this video is already like, holy crap, it's like fucking 25 minutes, so I'm just gonna end the video here. I hope this video was insightful to anyone who is new and returning to MapleStory and is confused with the V Matrix. It is very confusing. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube about MapleStory's Nodestone system. It is completely overwhelming to me when I first started, but I've been playing for about a year and a half now, coming back to the game. Obviously, I've played this game since like 2006 or whatever, but it's a newer thing. I think 5th Job came out in like 2016 for GMS, Global MapleStory, so it's really complicated. But yeah, depending on what class you are, type in, say for example, you are a Lara main. Go on Google, type in Lara Perfect Trio. Trust me, just type in Perfect Trio, it will pop up on Google, and it will, just honestly, if you are, for example, whatever class you're maining, say you're like a Xenon, go on Google, type in Xenon Discord MapleStory. Like, you can find your class Discord online, and they will help you find this trio. Or just type in Xenon Perfect Trio. Yeah. Honestly, with MapleStory, you just have to Google. You just have to Google shit. It is so... Honestly, MapleStory is so fucking, like, overwhelming to, like, new players. I understand why people, like, they honestly, like, complain so goddamn much, because this game is so, like... It's a lot. It's a lot, man. It's a lot. You just have to Google shit. Like, I honestly learned about MapleStory a lot from Googling since returning, and I just learned so much from, like, Reddit and, like, Discords and stuff, and that's just how I, you know, also just playing the game, I just learned a lot of stuff from it, and I just ask people, join a guild, they'll tell you everything. Like, just be that noob that, like, asks questions if you're new. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna end the video. This is a long-ass video. I have a bad, I just always make my videos like so fucking long, so I'm just gonna end the video right now. If you found this helpful, leave a comment below. If you thought I was rambling a lot, comment below, roast me in the comments, I don't give a shit. As long as this video helped you, you obviously clicked on this video because you're bored or you actually need help with nodes, so I appreciate you watching this video. So leave a like and a comment if you found this helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know if you guys want like different content or what kind of videos you guys want in the comments below as well. Alright, I am signing the fuck out. Goodbye.